With a bull market around the corner, it's not unusual to get phishing emails and phishing texts. Unfortunately, most recently, we've learned that Trezor's third-party ticketing system for their support had been compromised. So what happened and what does that mean? Welcome back, everyone. We are going to talk about what happened with Trezor's ticketing system and what this, really kind of means for you. And I'm just going to go over some basics here about, about your signing device / your hardware wallet. Anyways, these types of topics are never easy, and they always invoke some level of fear, right? In some cases, even if you think your setup is secure, this might make you do a double take. In other cases, you may read something like this and say, I don't care. My setup is totally secure, and this is just not going to happen to me because I'm not going to fall for it. Either way, it doesn't make a difference. What's important is that you're aware of what happened, right? Like this is what we need to, that's what we need in order to actually make accurate decisions, is to be aware of what's happening out there. Anyways, let's dive into it. On January 17th, 2024, third-party support ticketing portal we use encountered unauthorized access. Potentially impacted data are limited to user emails, names, nicknames that contacted our customer support team. So we want to assure you that this does not pose any threat to your digital assets now or in the future, though we have not observed any spike in phishing activity as a result of this incident. In our commitment to full transparency, we have decided to alert you to phishing schemes targeting your recovery seed. What you should know: your Trezor wallet and assets remain secure. Never share your recovery seed with anyone. Remember, Trezor representatives will never prompt you to do so. Be cautious of phishing attempts or suspicious emails. Always confirm instructions directly on your Trezor device. We understand the concerns that arise from situations like this and apologize for any inconvenience caused. Okay, so they did put out a blog post. Let's go take a look at it. Here's what Trezor knows. We identified unauthorized access to the third-party support portal we use. This breach occurred at the level of that third-party service provider we are currently engaged with. We are amidst a thorough investigation into the scope of this incident along with the third-party service provider. Based on the ongoing investigation of the incident and our communication with the third-party service provider, there is a potential that the contact details of up to 66,000 users, customers who have interacted with Trezor support since December 2021, may have been accessed. During our investigation, we were alerted to the fact that the individual contacted 41 of our users directly via email requesting sensitive information related to their recovery seeds. And we were actually talking about this in a space a few days ago in a Twitter space, so take a look at this, okay? Hi, blank whatever. To better understand and look into your issue, please reply with the 24-word phrase you were given when you set up your Trezor device. So first of all, you weren't given 24 words. You generated your seed phrase. So you were never given that, okay? Anyways, this data is not accessible by humans, okay, and is used to check the firmware version of your device. So guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, straight up, okay? As if you didn't know already, there is no universe or plane of reality where somebody, including you, needs your 12 or 24 word seed phrase in order to verify the version of firmware that is installed on your signing device / hardware wallet. Okay. So when you boot up a device like this, just powering it on, one of the first things that's usually displayed is the firmware version. Okay. That's usually one of the first things that's actually displayed. And that's usually automagic. So it's usually part of its little bootloader software. Anyways, we're going to take a flip side to this. Cold Card never misses an opportunity to remind people that they're doing things a little bit different. Okay, now, of course, Cold Card does not sponsor our show or anything like that. I'm not endorsing them because we're getting something for it or anything like that. That's not the point. The point is that each individual business has an opportunity, okay, and also has a choice as to how they want to handle your data. So here is a response from Mastermind USA as we were talking about this this morning in the Good Morning Bitcoin space. So here we go. This is a message from Cold Kite from yesterday, okay? Or in this case, by the time you watch the show, from 2 days ago. So essentially, after Trezor announced their breach, Cold Card comes in. Cold Card comes in cold. It's totally brutal. CoinKite only holds 6 months of support tickets, which are deleted automatically. It doesn't require KYC for support. Our store only holds 120 days of customer data, which is also anonymized, purged automatically. You can also buy under an IM, pay with Bitcoin, and ship to a PO box. So yeah, that's just CoinKite kind of nudging Trezor. Okay, so look. Each company can decide how they handle the customer data. There's no question there. Now, companies that may see all of their customers as just customers that can be shilled repeatedly through newsletters, right? Because in some cases, the whole point is building up the contact base, right? The base of people that you're going to contact for all of your new product offerings and stuff like that. So if you view every single person that has purchased your product as a perpetual customer forever for whatever products, you're most likely not going to care about their information, okay, or the privacy of it, and you are going to hang on to that data for as long as you possibly can. Now, I'm not saying that that is necessarily Trezor's stance, because the other point of this is that anybody who has ever worked in some type of an IT-related field understands that if you don't set up an automated task to do something, right, like an automated maintenance task, kind of like the way CoinKite did with their with their email contacts and their customers, there's a really good possibility you're never going to delete that data. And it's not because you're trying to sell your customers into the future. It's more a matter of just neglect of a process, because it's just not that important, right? Statistically, how many people are, right? How many companies are getting hacked, right? And how many of them are losing or divulging their email contacts? So unfortunately, I would probably chalk what happened up with Trezor to just a poor maintenance practice on the side of the third party, and that's kind of the other piece to this, right? When you trust a third party for your ticketing system, you're essentially you're saying that the way that they handle privacy and customer data comes before the way you do it. So if their policy has a failure at a much lower level, it is completely irrelevant how securely you handle the customer data. It doesn't even make a difference, because the company that you're working for it has a capability to lose important data much quicker through, I guess you'd say, through a lot less of a breach attempt. So anyways, look, these breaches are never, ever going to go away, guys. There's something the reason why I cover these types of things is because, unfortunately, when you don't hear about this type of stuff often enough, you may feel a panic when it happens. But just like anything, with enough exposure to something, it's going to be normalized. And when it's normalized, you're able to think rationally. Okay, you're not going to, at least in my eyes, I'm able to think more rationally. So when I see a situation like this come up, like I remember the first few times I used to read about stuff like this, I would genuinely get worried, right? Like 2018, 2019, stuff like that. Like, hearing about breaches, that would scare me. Now I've heard so many of them that at this point it's like, okay, I get it. It's going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't worry about it, but what it does mean is these breaches are going to happen, okay? And what you need to do is just make sure as best you can that you don't fall for the obvious, okay? And now the other thing about this is that there is no world, okay, where a support person needs your seed phrase. Okay? Like, there just isn't. And if you are going to hand that information over to anyone, you may as well assume that you've been hacked and that you have zero left. I mean, look, you just, it's like, it's the one piece of information. Like, it reminds me of that meme. Like, you had one job, you had one thing to do. That's all you had to do, was not show that to anyone. Anyways, look, as we get closer and closer to the bull market, more and more of these scams are gonna come out. Okay, I definitely, I really hope that this makes Trezor kind of, who knows, maybe Trezor is going to put some procedures in place where if they do hire these third parties, that they make these third party ticketing systems commit to a more stringent data policy, data retention policy. I think that that probably would be the best thing. And of course, right, the ultimate solution is to bring your ticketing system in-house. But of course, that comes with more overhead. So you get more oversight, but it also comes with more overhead. It's a matter of balancing the two. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. We're in the bull run, and if you think that we're getting scared now, just wait, because as number go up continues to do its thing, the grifters are going to show up in bigger numbers. The scams are going to sound a lot worse, and we need to stay vigilant. Catch you tomorrow, guys.